I'm going to be taking some questions in a moment from my colleagues, but I'm going to just continue the conversation a little bit longer. John, you've been hanging around McNutt Gym since you were a little boy.
Yes.
And
same furniture, same carpets.
Correct.
we had convinced Lee that those were all new pieces of furniture. Don't blow my cover here.
Sitting in the same desk my dad sat at.
But then you had the opportunity to compete at Princeton. Then you had an opportunity to coach at Princeton. Now you're back here with us 6 seasons. You've seen a lot of changes over the years. What's most significant what's the difference about coaching at Georgetown today, at the intercollegiate level today, than earlier in your lifetime as you watched your dad, as you watched Coach Carell, as you yourself were coaching in the Ivy League?
The difference here or just in coaching?
Coaching general.
It's been an evolution, I think, to get to specifics about the sport. In this day and age, kids, and I don't want to sound like that guy that had to walk 2 miles in the snow with no shoes to get to school, but more so than in the past, which is one of the reasons why, Coach Carell decided to move on, was one of the reasons why my dad decided to move on, is you have to deal with many outside entities when recruiting a player. It used to be mom and dad or whoever the mom and dad figure was. Now with the evolution of basketball becoming more specialized at a younger age. When we were growing up, you played basketball, you played baseball, you played football, through high school. Maybe junior, senior year, you kind of pare it down and figure out. Now you have kids that are making the decision, or families that are making the decision for kids at the elementary school level, that little Joey is just going to be a hockey player. Little Joey is just going to be a basketball player. And so because of that, they're getting a lot of attention if they're good. They think they're more special than they should be. When I was at Princeton, and everyone here knows I love Princeton, I hated Princeton my freshman year. I hated Pete Carell, maybe my freshman and sophomore year. I love the man today, and I would do anything he ever asked me to do. But when I called home freshman year, complaining about that man, I had someone on the other end of the phone that would curse me out and say, "You're a little baby, you need to grow up. He knows what he's doing, mature, click." Now, more often than not, that person is calling home, or they're calling a former high school coach, or they're calling a former AAU coach, or someone that's a part of their life, and more often than not, they're hearing, "Yeah, you're right, that Coach Thompson doesn't know what he should be doing. Why aren't you playing? You're better than so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so." And so more often than not, we're having to deal with that. Or at least in the recruiting process, I tell families up front that, if your child, or, sometimes there's not a parents there, but if this recruit comes to Georgetown, if you have any questions about health or school, call me. I don't want to hear from you about basketball. Have that recruit, who's now a student, come talk to Coach, because part of his growth and maturation process is learning how to deal with adults, is learning how to deal with uncomfortable situations, learning how to grow up. But just more often than not, back to the question, there's so many different people, and they all aren't bad people, but kids now have more people in their lives. They have more people that are advising them on what's right, what's wrong, and more often than not, they're not being honest with the kids. That's a big change.
Good.
We have a new consumer. Young adults today are quite different than our generation. I was the first generation that had access to computing power. There was one computer on the campus at Georgetown University when I graduated, in the registrar's office. My iPhone has more computing power than what the entire campus had in 1977. And so the new consumer lives in this transparent world, and the steering wheel for information, for access, is theirs. It's not ours anymore. And so they are entitled, they are enabled, and there's a lot of goodness that comes from that. Their ability of self-expression, their ability to get information, their ability to get away from a privacy area. I subscribe to a friend on Twitter. I just unsubscribed. How many people here are on Twitter? Okay, so generationally we have a disconnect, as you can see. And students are living their life on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So there are no secrets in the world anymore. And so as John was discussing, we have the first pick in the draft right now for the NBA. We won the lottery.
We have some thoughts about who you might want to take.
These young adults, 19 years old, 20 years old, there are 1,000 services that have every statistic, every game, every play, videos like you can't believe. And that's so different than how it was when John was playing, when his father was coaching. And so, but it is just endemic to the way young adults are living their life, and it'll get worse because everything will get faster, cheaper, more powerful, more access. And so what I've advised people is it's like oxygen. Get used to it.
Thank you.